Welcome back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kerry Stevenson, and today I've asked, in fact, Warwick Clent to join us. He is the managing director of Connected Minerals. Now, you might say to yourself, Connected Minerals, haven't heard of them. They've got projects in Namibia, but just done some funding. They're not yet on the boards. It's imminent. So I wanted you guys to understand and what the projects are and to listen to what Warwick's got to say, find out why he likes these projects. It's uranium, and Warwick knows quite a lot about that. I want to talk big picture and then more specifically about Connected Minerals and why he's joined the company and what's the news flow going forward. So Warwick, great to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Kerry. Really appreciate that. Look, it is an exciting time for us. After a lot of hard work, we're looking to relist next week, probably about Thursday the 24th. You say we are fully funded. We've just raised $5.1 million. Cash in the bank before that. We're fully funded now to go and do the exploration we really think we need to do. Uranium is the space that we're operating in, and there has been a lot of news about uranium lately, coming out of the States especially. We're seeing big deals being done now with Microsoft getting 3 Mile Island restarted in a 20-year deal. Google talking about data centers and getting energy from that. Amazon doing massive deals with energy providers as well. So these data centers and AI centers that are being required, we're seeing exponential growth in that. Likewise, we're going to see exponential growth in new reactors. We're seeing China going ahead. We're seeing the States going ahead now. Timing-wise, it couldn't be better for us. It really is a fantastic time to be getting back into uranium after 15 years of the doldrums.
I've always liked uranium, but why? Because it's all these people that turn around and say, carbon emissions and all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, uranium, zero carbon emissions. In Australia, Warwick, I wish we got started on it 10 years ago, but we're still faffing around, even though we've got great reserves here. We export it all.
We do. And look, last year, COP28 in Doha, 22 signatories saying they want to triple nuclear reactors in the world by 2050. The supply demand curves don't match up with that sort of ambition. There's been another 4 signatories since then. We're seeing China going from approving 10 nuclear reactors this year to 12, 14 next year. We are seeing that growth, and we are seeing that because of actually renewables. As much as we love them, as much as we want to see that as in the mix, they don't provide that base load that we actually need.
Yeah. And right now, is there a widening gap between supply and demand?
There is. It's actually okay for the moment, but we see that really increasing by 2030. There's some funny things going on with pricing at the moment. We actually see our spot price below our long-term price. So we expect to see by the end of this year even, spot prices jump back up from where they're sitting around $82 a pound at the moment, up towards the 90s and hundreds. As we go out towards 2050, as I say, with that number of reactors coming on worldwide, there is going to be a massive supply deficit.
Okay, talk to us, because you just mentioned at the start that Connected Minerals, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the ASX code will be CML, C for Charlie, M for Mother, L for Lion, CML, getting back on the boards on the 24th of October. So if you're watching this after the 24th of October, they're already up and running, but fully funded. Projects in Namibia. First of all, why Namibia? Because a lot of us would turn around and say, well, I understand Australia, I understand parts of the world, but Namibia?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And I think Namibia suffers from this Africa syndrome. Everyone sees Africa as a whole. Africa is not a whole. We see, we know South Africa, everyone knows South Africa. We see the problems in Sudan, but these are thousands of kilometers away. Namibia has been producing uranium for the last 45 years.
Oh, wow.
It's, Rio Tinto started the Rossing mine. We have the Husab mine, the third largest uranium-only mine in the world, operating in Namibia. It's a stable government. It has been stable since independence from South Africa back in the 90s. 2.5 million people. They have a history of mining in that country since, the 1850s or thereabouts. So it's a well-established, and it's bureaucratic, but the bureaucracy and the process is actually what makes it work.
Is it easier to work over there than Australia?
I actually think it is. Really? I actually really do. Look, I've spent my last or 30 years now, exploration in Australia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, these sorts of spots. I see Western Australia now is so much more difficult than it ever has been.
Yeah.
Then we look at Namibia, you get an exclusive prospecting license, you have that. That's yours. You can do anything from soil sampling all the way up to trial mining before you have to go into a mining license. Is such a well-worn path.
Okay, so
Um,
it's
yeah,
easier.
it is.
Before I get into the projects with you, if we could just step back for a moment, the way you've raised the funds, just talk to me like a 5-year-old and explain how that all worked and the
Yeah,
rationale
absolutely.
behind coming back on the boards. Talk to us about the
Yes.
structure.
Okay, so Connected Minerals has had a few iterations over its life. The last one was an Internet of Things company that was looking for modems in vending machines and billboards. It was a bit of a crazy idea, but the resources space wasn't going well for people, so it was just a bit of a change. Prior to that, though, there had been experience with Connected as a minerals company, resource company. That's actually helped us right now. There's some ground that we held up in Coolgardie that's
Okay.
now being mined under royalty with Focus Minerals. So we've actually got an additional cash source over the next 24 months of up to $1.3 million in royalties
Oh,
coming through as well. So we haven't really spoken about that. That's not really put out there too much because just, we'll get that as it comes through. But when we're talking about being fully funded, we really are. Obviously, the Internet of Things, didn't work out so well, but all of the existing shareholders have stuck with the company. They've stuck with the shell. There's been a lot of discussion back and forth with them. And when we started saying to them, look, we're looking to go into back to resources and specifically into uranium, they were very supportive.
okay.
So we did an entitlement. Sorry, no, I'll start at the start. We did a consolidation, a 21 consolidation. We've then done a rights issue to the existing shareholders and then a placement out there to new investors. That's gone amazingly well. We were looking for a minimum of 4.2. We were raising 5.1, plus the cash in the bank, plus the royalty. We are really wonderfully fully funded for exploration. And
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, they don't need to
yep,
ask you for money. They're fully funded. So let's
yep,
get into
yep,
the projects. Namibia, you've already explained that Namibia is a good area
yes,
to explore. And it is an exploration at the moment. But why do you because you've got 3 over there? I think you've
we
got
do.
3 projects over there. So let's go into the projects themselves.
No worries. So look, we've got our Atango Northeast project.
Okay.
That's a granted license. Look, must admit I like a visual more than anything else, so I'll just share that with you.
Oh,
Kerry,
good.
make life a bit
Even
easier.
better.
And I'll hopefully make some things go away so we can actually see what's going on. There we are. So our
It's
scroll
still,
one too far.
it's still, oh, there we go. Yep.
Okay. So in the bright red there, we've got our EPL 6933. This is our Tango Northeast project. It sits directly adjacent to Atango. Atango is a Bannerman. Sorry, it is owned by Bannerman, who are looking to develop that after a long hiatus. They've looked at their numbers again, and they're actually pushing forward to production in early 2027 now. Langer Heinrich, fairly well known for Paladin, that they're looking again at ramping up their production there. You've got to understand, Namibia has been unloved for about 15 years as uranium prices just suffered. So that was a boon for us. It has allowed us to go through quite a lot of projects over the last year and pick the ones that we thought actually were the best fit and the best potential. So I say Tango Northeast, right next to Bannerman. That's granted. We're going to look at early exploration on that. We hope to actually get moving the day of listing on that one. It has some fantastic results there from previous historical work, but no chemical analysis. So we want to get in there and rock chip and map with the idea of developing drill targets, hopefully by the end of this year. Our second one I wanted to mention is EPL 9162, our Swakopmund project. Now, this is different. This is a secondary mineralization, so we're looking at calcrete uranium.
What does that mean? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'll come back to that for you. So you've got the 2 types of mineralization in Namibia that we're looking for. You have primary Alaskite mineralization. Now, that's where the uranium minerals are actually physically within these leucogranites, or Alaskites as they call them over there, stacked loads. That's our aim for Tango Northeast. But when you look at the secondary or calcrete mineralization, what actually happens to those uranium crystals and grains? They get weathered over time and they get washed down drainage, paleo drainages.
Okay.
So when we look at this image, and you can probably just see each copy just poking through there. That's Orano, ex-Areva. It's a massive 450 million tonnes. Secondary mineralization, all that mineralization is within the first 15 meters of the surface. This is just a flat plain.
Wow.
So yeah, really looking forward to getting a feet on the ground there as well, which should happen in the next 1 to 2 months. And then the last one is our Rossing South, EPL 9576. Now this we're looking at as a primary mineralization potential. It's 6 kilometers southeast of Husab. Husab is the world's largest uranium mine. It's owned by the Chinese at the moment, as is Rossing now. Rossing has been in production since about the last 45 years. Husab around about the last 8. These are massive deposits, and obviously we're looking to leverage off all of that. And our potential, we can get in there. As I say, we did look at a lot of projects. There's a lot of old projects, a lot of projects that have been reworked many, many times. But these ones we've settled on really do have that great potential to take us forward.
What passes the sniff test then to get past when you look at a lot of projects, why these ones?
I think because there's that 45 years of exploration over there. There's a lot of information on a lot of projects. What we're looking for specifically, though, is potential to grow resources. We're not looking at getting a few nice results and getting a share price hit off that. We're here for the longer term. We've got experienced people in the country which I'll talk about more in a moment. But we're relying on their experience and our commercial knowledge to pick those best projects, the ones that we think will take us forward.
You talked about you're fully funded. We've just seen 3 projects. You talked about Etango Northeast being the first one. Like the minute you're back on the boards, that's where. So talk to us about what you're doing there specifically, and that you fund.
Yeah. So talking about these historical results, well, and getting these projects. So Etango Northeast from about 1 kilometre by 2.5 kilometres with highly elevated scintillometer readings, so counts per second of uranium. Now that's a very quantitative rather than qualitative sort of measure. You can't directly say, right, well, this is how much uranium we have here. But talking to our exploration manager in country, a gentleman called Bertie Rosner, 40 years experience.
Oh wow!
He's actually the ex-chief geologist for the Namibian Geological Survey. Before he went on to work at Trikopi, he's worked at Husab as a mineral resource manager, I think the title was. So he's looked at this ground. He's come and told us, look, you've got background there of 400 counts per second from the scintillometer. He thinks anything above 700 is worthwhile. We've got historical results from scintillometer readings of 5,870 in this area. So, we want to go in there now. We want to rock chip, we want to map, and we want to get these chemical analysis results to tell us how much uranium is there, with the idea of getting into drill targeting straight away. This is only one area within about 3 or 4 of this 6933 or Etango Northeast project. So it gives us fantastic targets straight up.
Is this something, did he come to you? Did you find him? Because it sounds to me, someone with that caliber, 3 years experience, he knows the country, he knows the area, and it sounds like he kind of knows what's there. Do you know what I mean?
He does. So we've been very lucky. I can't necessarily name names at the moment, but we've got a Australian who's very well known in the uranium space who's an investor with us. Now, he worked with some gentlemen at Husab when it's gone from extract to Swakam uranium as they're developing that project. We were lucky enough to get as our director Virend Morkel, Remy. So he's got 19 years experience, South African born, but now a Namibian citizen, loves the place, accountant by trade, but he's coming onto our board as an independent director.
Right.
Now, Rennie has also brought along Bertie. So Bertie worked with these guys at Husab. So we're using those known connections to get this great experience. We couldn't have gone into the country just fresh and green and said, look, we'll have you. So we're really leveraging off these relationships, which are fantastic. You don't get that kind of experience that we're talking about without having those connections. So we're really well, I suppose, endowed with our experience on the ground in Namibia with Rennie and Bertie. So it makes it a very soft landing for an Australian company when you've got that level of expertise ready to go.
I was going to ask you, how important do you think it is to have those sorts of people
Oh, it's
for you on the
fundamental.
ground? Because anyone can go in, find some ground, etc. What I
Yeah.
think I'm trying to get to for our audience is, there's a lot of companies out there that are looking at things. So Warwick, what I want to try and unpack, if you like, is why Connected Minerals, and why people should sit up and take notice of you at the moment before we go into these other projects. Because, I think one of them, I often say it's people and projects.
Yes.
And so what makes you think the people are important? Give us an idea of what makes you a little bit different.
Well, I think because we've taken our time. We have been looking at these projects for a year now, and really going through and getting rid of the ones that just, as you said, weren't going to pass the sniff test.
Right.
During that time, we've had that relationship building with Rennie and building with Bertie, and it's a no rubbish, it's a no fluffiness sort of approach. They tell it like it is. Okay. So having that ability to go to these guys and say, "What do you think of this? You've walked over this ground before. What are we looking at here?" And it's no rubbish. It's like, well, that's great. Well, that's not. Don't go there. Okay. And so that's the difference for us. As I say, we're being an Australian company. You can't parachute into these jurisdictions and expect things to fall into your lap. So we've worked at that over the last year. This is not what it's. I suppose there's no such thing as overnight success, if you like. You've got to work at it.
Yeah.
And I think that is the difference for us. There's a lot of people with the uranium price now kicking up. Since perhaps June, July this year, but really October, September, there'll be a lot more companies going in there just absolutely scrabbling for ground now. We've got that first mover sort of advantage.
Yep.
But more importantly, we've got those people on the ground.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fundamental.
All right.
You can't, yeah.
Well, as I speak to you, you say Etango Northeast, which is very close to what was the name of it?
Bannerman's Etango project.
Yeah. That's why it's called Etango Northeast. I should remember that. So you're going to get on the ground and you're going to focus on that one to start with.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can get teams on the ground immediately. We've got Bertie all set up and he's got guys to get us out there. We'll probably look at doing some rock chipping, mapping, and there's some old trenches that we want to reestablish and resample now, not just with the scintillometer, but for chemical analysis. The idea behind that is to drive towards drilling targets.
Okay.
We're not going to sell on this money. We're not going to just dribble it out. We are explorationists. We want to explore and we want to find things. So we're really going to push these projects along.
You got big companies around you. Do you think if you get these projects to a certain level where you know what you've got potentially? I know I'm sort of going ahead of myself, but would that be a long-term strategy to have one of the big guys come in and go, "Hey, listen, that's really good ground and we want it"?
Well, that's the reality. Extract Resources went from a $3.3 million micro cap to selling out Husab to the Chinese for $2.2 billion.
Holy moly!
Give you an idea. Wow. So that's the potential you have with uranium.
Okay.
Now, because you've got nuclear reactors at the end of this process, they look for long-term providers. And that's why that money can be large when you get someone parachuting in and taking the company away from you. Because they're looking such long-term. You're talking, I say, Rossing, still producing now. It's been producing for 45 years. It's got another 20 years at least to go.
Amazing.
And so, as a supplier to nuclear reactors, they want those long-term relationships. So that's where the money comes into it. Right. So yes, we are realistic. We've got people on the board, Rennie, as I say, with experience of actually going through that process. But likewise, we've also got guys in the background who have that experience of building these projects as well. So look, there's the two ways to go. And I think you always need to push towards being a producer, even as an explorationist.
Yeah.
You've got to understand there's an end goal. Now, if someone comes along halfway through that process, taps you on the shoulder, and you are going to give your shareholders the best value possible by being bought out, then that's what you do. or you push towards that production.
Okay. All right. I don't want to run out of time. So just quickly, we've talked about Etango Northeast. That's where you're going to start rock chip sampling, ultimately with a view to drilling. But we've also got Swakopmund and Rossing South. So do you want to just mention those? Are they just going to sit in the background until you've...
No, they won't, because also with that 15 years hiatus on exploration in Namibia, you've got a lot of pent-up demand for, pent-up experience, if you like, that hasn't found a home. So we'll get some geophysicists in on Swakopmund. It is very flat and plain, so we'll probably look at doing some electrical geophysics across that just to define the paleo drainage. And then very quickly, once we found those targets, we'll get in there and do probably some air core or auger drilling. And say everything's within the first 15 meters for these projects. So it's pretty easy for us. Our Rossing South project, we expect that to be granted to us in the next 2 to 4 months. There is a process to go through. There's an intention to grant from the Mines Department on that one. But you need to go, because they sit within a national park, which normally anywhere in the world you'd go a bit scared about that. But Rossing, Husab, Etango, they all sit in the national park. It just comes with conditions about, like we have conditions in WA about making sure you're looking after the environment when you're doing things.
Right.
So there's no fear factor on that. You actually go through Heritage Council, and it's very easy sort of stuff. But anyway, so with Rossing South, we hope to be in there 2 to 4 months.
Okay.
Again, we know from previous information, there are some targets there, again, to go back to rock chip sampling, mapping, with the ultimate aim of drilling as well. So I would hope to be having 2 to 3 drill programs within the next 6 to 12 months, depending on our progress on these different projects.
Before we finish up, what's your biggest challenge right now? Clearly, it's not raising money because you've done that.
Yeah. My biggest challenge at the moment is getting on a plane. I want to get across Namibia and get there. So my next call is to the travel agent after this one, strangely enough.
So you're going to be over there pretty quickly?
I'll be straight away after listing, right away. Get on the ground there. There's nothing like setting your feet on the ground. As you said at the start, I'm a geologist, so I'll have to go and bash some rocks eventually just to make myself feel good. But no, our biggest challenge is literally just getting the start, getting the momentum. And by that, I don't actually think it's a challenge. I think we've got the right people in the right places at the moment to actually just push it forward.
All righty. Well, it sounds to me like there's going to be quite a bit of news flow coming out, but I would have thought at the start of next year. I mean, we're already talking, it's the end of October. Do you stop over that sort of December, January period? Is there a period of time?
I think there's always an inevitable hiatus over that little period, but we're going to push forward with these programs. As I hope by the end of this year to define some drill programs or drill targets on our Etango Northeast project. Then the new year we'll be hitting the ground running on Swakopmund and Rossing South, probably 2 months later. So I think, we'll take the inevitable 2 or 3 weeks to break over Christmas, and then get back into it. But, in the meantime, we'll have had samples back. We'll have had targeting worked out. So I think news flow wise, from here to the end of the year, we should see a fair bit of news flow through. And hopefully it's enough to obviously keep everyone excited, like it's exciting me at the moment. So
yeah, well, I love the fact that you understand that you're very bullish on the uranium market, because it has been a little bit soft. It has. It's kind of gone off the boil. But honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I look at it and I think one of the biggest challenges we have globally, I don't care where you live in the world, is energy. And we're going to need more and more energy. And my view is uranium is such a clean, strong baseload power, but we need to get on with it. So I think it's a very exciting time. And as you said a moment ago, Warwick, you've got that first mover advantage. You've got good ground. And more importantly, you've got really good people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us 3 reasons why people should sit up and take notice of Connected Minerals right now.
Right people, right place, and the right market, to be honest.
That was so good. Right people, right place, right market.
Goodness, it's honestly true, isn't it? Yeah, we have been so lucky to get these projects and get the right people. And people, as you said before, make it.
Yep.
They really 100%.
Do. Yep. Yeah. It is all about the people, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you enjoyed this. As we said, they're getting back on the boards on the 24th of October, there or thereabouts. Hopefully the ASX is all good and it's all going to happen. But keep your eyes on connected minerals. And as I said just a moment ago, the ASX code is CML. I love uranium. It's what we need. And I think that Namibia is a very good jurisdiction to be in. So for now, Warwick Clent, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks very much for your time, Kerry. Appreciate that.